Hi, this is Ramesh Byanas from the Prama Wellness Center, and I'm very happy to welcome Vishnu Das from Blue Lotus Ayurveda in Asheville. He's the director and owner, and also the author of Ayurvedic Herbology East and West, a wonderful book on Ayurveda and the use of herbs. Um, Vishnu Das is going to have a course on Ayurveda, a one-day course here through the Prama Wellness Center on January 16th, and I would welcome all of you to attend that course. And so I would like to ask you, Vishnu Das, a little bit about Ayurveda. What is Ayurveda? What's the specialty of Ayurvedic medicine?
Well, I think what makes Ayurveda unique is its system of three doshas. Uh, all systems are looking at the same body, but we all look at it through a different lens. And what makes Ayurveda unique is that it looks at the body, mind, constitution, or profile of an individual based on the three doshas. The three doshas are comprised of two elements each primarily, and these elements, ether, air, fire, water, and earth, in Ayurveda have quality, which are referred to as gunas, which are the qualities in nature: heavy, light, hot, cold, wet, dry, this type of qualities. So we are observing the individual's body, mind, constitution in relation to these qualities, both the characteristics that we are born with and develop through our life, as well as characteristics of imbalance and disease. So when we're assessing, uh, a lot of what we do is a lot of what any good health practitioner would do is taking a thorough case from an Ayurvedic perspective. But we are looking at it from a qualitative perspective because we have our own characteristics, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, as well as the imbalances that we have. Though each condition, imbalance, or disease also has certain characteristics that follow along these lines of the three doshas. So the dosha is how we look at the body. And the qualities of those doshas influence the bodily tissues, organs, and channels, and in a sense, penetrate into them in a way that goes beyond their normal quantity and quality. When dosha is in balance in its normal quantity and quality in the body, dosha helps to govern all the bodily systems in a balanced and harmonious way. And when they're out of balance, those doshas start to influence the disease process.
Mm-hmm. So it's
So,
so it's very, very detailed in terms of the way that you're using lifestyle, diet, and herbs, and so on to balance your body, your
yeah.
mind, and so on. It sounds very unique and distinctly different in a way from Western herbal medicine. What are some of the differences between Ayurveda and Western herbology?
Well, Western folk medicine also is using the qualities of nature because every herb that's given has a certain qualitative influence on the body. The way that Ayurveda can influence any system of folk medicine is through this lens of three dosha. That doesn't mean that a good herbalist in any system isn't going to develop a relationship with those plants and develop the knowledge and intuition on how to use them. And I don't think that's separate from Ayurveda. It's just that Ayurveda from the very get-go looks at this type, it has set up this type of system, this conceptual model and way to look at things. And so as a Western herbalist that eventually learned more and more about Ayurveda and went into full study of Ayurveda, I felt that Ayurveda fueled my practice and inspired my practice of Western herbal medicine. And so I have a lot of respect for folk traditions, and I don't look at it from necessarily a hierarchical perspective, but I find that the system of Ayurveda is so well laid out. And that layout and those general rules and principles can be applied to any system of medicine, even Western medicine. When we're looking at pharmaceutical drugs, they also have a very dramatic and one-directional effect on the body, which can sometimes be exactly what we need to save somebody's life. Those medicines have quality too, and they will influence the quality of dosha. They can disturb vata, pitta, or kapha, these three principles, and their qualities. And when we understand anything, so coming back to diet, lifestyle, herbal medicine, or even pharmaceutical drugs, and relationship that we have with one another, everything has quality. So Ayurveda is looking at what is our relationship with what we put into our body nutritionally, supplementary, or through the knowledge we take in, the information that we take in. Everything influences this system.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
So regarding your course, so it's a one-day course. It will be a morning session and an afternoon session. So what can a prospective student expect to learn in this course?
Okay, so the course will be broken up into two-hour segments with a lunch in between. And whenever I'm teaching an introductory course, my focus, my aim, and my intention is to provide some of the basic framework as to how Ayurveda looks at the original constitution based on the three doshas, how we identify that as individuals, and how we, so we can start to see how these doshas influence us uniquely, and simple ways that we can manage these doshas. And in the course, I tried to provide a basic introduction for people who are attending, those that are attending that develop a keen interest in it or feel like they want to study further. They'll get more from books they read or lectures they listen to, because this will give a lot of the basic terminology. And so I try to start at the kind of foundational principles of the three bodily humors, or what I refer to as physio-psychological energetic principles. So these principles that relate to both body and mind. Each one of us has all three doshas. And so when we're reading books, we'll try to identify with one of these. I say, it's not what your dosha, it's not just identifying with what your dosha is, it's understanding how these three doshas play out in you as an individual. How much vata, pitta, and kapha is within your system. What characteristics do you have on a physical, mental, emotional level that trend more in one direction than another when it comes to these principles, and how you can go to manage them. And, all too often people try to identify as I'm vata, or I'm pitta, or I'm kapha, or I'm dual dosha. But we live in all of the changes of seasons and all of the phases of our life. And so it is important to identify what our constitution is, but it's also important to identify how to manage dosha as it becomes out of balance. Like an upper respiratory infection can induce a certain amount of kapha or pitta, regardless to what our dosha is predominant in, and how we can go about managing. So I give some basic principles that can guide both diet, lifestyle, herbal medicine, and also for yoga practitioners. Ayurveda can provide a good tool for self-care.
Right. Yeah. That sounds wonderful. So I hope you as our listener will check out this course further by looking at the information on our website, and you can also register for the course there. So I want to thank you, Vishnudas, for this very enlightening, informative introduction to Ayurveda. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to it.
Yeah.